Don't wait for things to be perfect, but look at ripple effect. You were in a crisis situation. You take steps, you learn from it. You take steps, you learn from it. You take steps, you learn from it. Imagine crediting every savings account with a setting in the country with just 2,000 or 5,000. I don't know the total number of savings account that we have, especially if they have a certain threshold in their current balances. Okay? You get my point? Yes. So imagine what will happen to the people, the kind of response the citizens will have. You, as a leader, when you begin to see the responses, you're not going to satisfy everybody. But the fact that people got alert that they were not expecting, you get my point? And they say it's from the government, from the federal government of Nigeria. There will be such emotional states of excitement that amongst the cities that you are reaching us, you are touching us. Now, what about those that do not have accounts? Okay? That is when your current strategy that you are using for those who are not, the unbanked, those who don't have accounts. You get my point? Then when you now go back and said, those of you that you know we've reached, this is not the time to be greedy. Let's reach to our brothers and our sisters that don't have account. Point them out so that they themselves can be a part of this. Some people will still lie, but a good people, this is time to rally round to be your brother's keeper. This is what leaders do. You think, like they say, out of the box. We know they are having lots of thoughts around it on the table. You get the point? But you don't need to take too long. You need to reach out. And it's not just the federal government alone. Or what about the subnationals, the state governments? The state governments can also do that. You get my point? Find a way to say, okay, all of our citizens, because by the way, the state governments are earning certain taxes, certain revenues from accounts that are residents in their states.
Residents of the state.
Yes, for residents in their state. So you also look at how to reach these people, and say, okay, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. As they are getting those alerts, you are seeing it's LASG, OGSD, BDSG, Borno State Government, Kaduna. People put it, you will see the tension in the land. Does what? Relaxes. The tension in our citizens relaxes. So by the time you are coming to reach out with people now know you guys are thinking on your feet. This is why the next set of elections coming up, local government, state government.
At the federal level.
And at the federal, the next set of elections coming up, we should be asking critical question of the people we are voting for to lead us.
This will be a defining...
The people we are voting, you don't have to, because when in 1918 something like this happened, it's not as colossal and as damaging as it is. We're talking about how to manage the crisis now. But the real issue is post roll back to normal. That's where the real challenge is. But whatever little things we can do to support our citizens now, whatever ideas we bring and we implement, pam, 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 you get my point? And it touches people. You're not going to be perfect, but people will defend you. People will also say, oh no, you've not done enough. That's normal. People need to think, all right? And if people are thinking, this is not the time to think hierarchically, to say, because I am DG or because I'm this. No. There are young men and women out there who are thinking of how to solve this situation. So, like I said, let's spread out our thinking net, all right? And let's not despise any idea on this at this time.
Any suggestion? Any
suggestion, let's debate it, let's comb it. And when we comb it, and we share it with our people. So let's implement and see what will happen. Will people ask for more? Yes. But by the time we take those first few steps, we can correct them and we can improve. That's the way humanity is.
Which is very, very important. And then when we look at the current situation, we always bring to mind the need for people to connect, to feel that, yes, despite all the challenges, we are still one nation. It's not about, like you said, party or differences. What should be the message in terms of the leaders from the federal, state level in terms of ensuring that everybody knows that we are one, despite all this?
I don't like reinventing the wheel where I know there is a leading practice. I mean, that's my training.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I do is how do I adapt this? What is the message the UK government is sending to its citizen? 3 words. Stay at home. Stay alive. Keep the NHS. So, look, you see.
So they bring the value of their healthcare workers and
stay at home to protect all of us. Stay alive. Maintain sanity. Show concern, not just to myself, to my neighbor. So certain actions that I do. So what is that? That's a good question you've asked. So what is the common thread? That, you see, that was the same statement I made last week. I said, what's the common thread that is flowing through? We don't know what the common thread is. But one thing is common. Look at the headline in the Punch today, that the northern governors are saying they cannot lock down. Okay? Now, again, I will say they are irresponsible. Because you're talking about our citizens. Yes, you understand your citizens, but we are faced with a threat that we do not have a vaccine.
The president said this is not a joke.
This is not.
Giving,
Mr.
we have
President has
over
said so.
1.8 million cases now, globally.
You see, when I saw that headline, I was disappointed that they could come and say they are taking a front. Okay? Because in their mind's eye, that's how small their thinking is. I'm sorry, but that's what they've demonstrated to me, at least. Okay? In their mind's eye, they think they are citizens by virtue of the nature of their economic empowerment cannot be impacted. That's why we are saying they should stand up and make sacrifices and call the high net worth individuals in their various states and say, come, let's put hands together and help our people in this crisis situation. Yes. You get my point? So if the kind of position they've taken, I'm sorry, it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. You may say my words is, the word I use is too strong. Trust me, because of the severity of what we are talking about, it means they cannot fathom what they cannot picture the implication of the kind of sacrifices that is needed at this time. We're talking about sacrifices.
Which is very key. The period of sacrifices, and even the president acknowledged that governors have been also doing well to help mitigate it. But we'll continue to engage and reach out to see what's happening with the Northern Governors Forum, and believe we'll get some more robust position. So what are your closing thoughts for today?
Well, my thought for today are 2 words: inspiration. What are you, yes, in a time like this, first of all, what are you using to inspire yourself? You need to inspire yourself first before you can inspire someone. All right? So you need to inspire. What are you going to use? What am I going to use to inspire myself in this season? The second one is invention.
Inspiration and invention.
If I can inspire myself, then I can become creative to invent or produce something or demonstrate something I have not done before.
At a time like this, produce vaccines that can address things like this.
The World Bank said there are about 170 vaccines that are being produced. Out of that, I think they said about 3 or 4 or 5 are in the forefront. I read it in Bloomberg before I came to the studio earlier. So you can imagine, I was even trying to post that, quite encouraging, not for the first time. In this season, everybody is putting hands together because the world,
over 50 research teams.
The world's sustainability is at stake. Inspiration and invention. So we need to get ourselves inspired and inspire the people around us within your circle of influence, all right? Then help them become creative, help them become inventive in order to stay through the season.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Wesley.
Thanks, Otto.
Always nice having this conversation with you.